Hello everyone in Facebook land. This video is going to be the kind of video that I think, or I hope you can come back to again and again and again, the deeper you go into your own journey and evolving in your business. And it's about the imposter complex. And what I've discovered are the 8 pillars of the imposter complex. And I say discovered because I didn't make them up. It was through about 500 individual sessions with women around the world, mostly in business. And I just kept picking up on their language and the things that they would say about themselves and about their business. And when I looked at all my notes and the most repeated phrases and the repeated patterns, these are the 8 that came up. So I'm going to first start by sharing with you a little bit that I've written. Yep, okay, good. I'm actually live. So, the brilliant thing about these 8 pillars is that you could find yourself at the very beginning and hear yourself all the way through all of the 8, which I just had a client start in my Inner Circle membership. And for her, it's, you know, when I read number 1, 2, all the way through, she's just saying yes, 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 yes. And then I had a consultation with a woman yesterday who, you know, the first 2 really don't land for her at all. But that's because she's dealing with number 4 and 5 more. And she's more in the middle of the journey. So the first parts don't really resonate. But then by the end of the consultation, when she looked a little deeper, she realized, oh my gosh, yes, I am doing number 1 and 2. It's just not so obvious. It's not so in my face. So I'm going to share the 8 pillars with you first, and then we'll dive a little deeper on each one. Mostly because I'm early for my appointment in Halifax. I did some energy work on the way in, so the weather did not slow me down. It sped me up. I'm here 20 minutes early. Magic. So, you started procrastinating. And it led to feeling overwhelmed. So those are the first 2 pillars, procrastination and overwhelm. And then that gave your inner critic, it's the 3rd pillar, tons of ammunition to beat you up and make you feel bad. And after only a short time of dealing with that, you developed feeling like a fraud or the imposter complex, which is pillar number 4. And that led to the need to stay small so that you could feel safe. Which is pillar number 5, playing small. And so you tried to do a lot of people-pleasing and over-giving to try to help. That's pillar number 6. But it didn't work. So now you're stuck with the people-pleasing, the over-giving, the overwhelm, possibly procrastination, and feeling like a fraud. And then you developed crappy boundaries, which is pillar number 8. And then you realize along the way that you lost a piece of yourself. So as I mentioned, the client that just got started yesterday, she's on all 8. You know, at number 8, she realizes, yeah, I feel like I've lost a piece of me. Because it's been so long that she's been dealing with this. And she sees that she's procrastinating every single day. These are all pieces of the imposter complex. And it's not a syndrome, it's a complex, but I'll go into that in a different video. And then other women who are clients, and I work with experienced women in business who have a fear of putting themselves out there. A fear of getting judged, but they know it's the key to signing new clients. And so I help them to have that full confidence, call it authentic confidence, without the ego and the bravado. They just get to be themselves and not sacrifice their truth, who they really are. And so any of these 8 could be kicking your butt, and that's why we're going to go a little deeper. Now, it's all about the imposter complex because, one, that's the language that most women have used to describe this hesitation, this holding back, this waiting, this fear of hearing the worst thing that they could ever hear, which is, who the hell do you think you are? So for you, just imagine that you put out a video, you put out a piece of content, you put on a class, heaven forbid you do a private consultation, and you give your pitch at the end, and the first thing they say is, who the hell do you think you are? Oh my, can you feel that? Can you imagine the gut punch that would be? How horrible that would be. Now, if that doesn't feel horrible to you, if you could hear someone say, who the hell do you think you are? Or, you're not as good as you say, or some version of that. If you can hear that and you are honestly totally fine, which we'll get to if it's really honesty in a moment, So if you can hear that and you're totally honestly fine, this video is not for you, my work is not for you, you don't need me, so you can tune out now. Now, what I've noticed is that there are a number of women in business who will pretend like that doesn't affect them. Oh, I'm great, everything's great. But really, it does. And they usually show up on my doorstep a year later or 2 years later. So I just wrote an article, and the title that we decided on was, I think it was something like, Are Confident Women in Business Really That Confident? And it was about that very dynamic of so many women have needed to put on a brave face for so long because of all the crap from the past, societal expectations, religion, family, just everything. There are a lot of reasons why. And this video is not to make excuses, but it is acknowledging what's happened. You know, if your tank's on, I just drove in to the city and from the countryside. If my tank was on empty, it's not an excuse to stop and get gas. That's just smart. If it's bad weather, it's even smarter to fill it the day before. So apply that analogy as you like. So if you've been procrastinating, it can really start to erode your sense of self-confidence, especially if you're in business, because every day you should be putting out content or engaging in sales conversations or whatever it is for you that's important. And if you spend sometimes even just an hour not doing what you know you should be doing, you can start to feel really overwhelmed. And then you start spinning and you start doing everything or trying to do everything instead of focusing just on the key things that there are to do. Now, it doesn't take very long when you've been procrastinating and feeling overwhelmed to start feeling like I'm not very good at what I do, or I must not be very good at what I do, because if I was good at what I did or do, then I would be putting out content. I'd be easily reaching out to people. See, I must have a confidence issue because I'm not easily reaching out to people to engage in a sales conversation or build a relationship or create content. I must not be see, there you go again. You're such an idiot. You do this all the time. Why can't you just get your shit together? And hey, if you put yourself out there, of course someone's going to say, who the hell do you think you are? And wow, good job on putting out tons of superfluous content that no one really needs. You should put out some real depth, but then you put out a piece that is really great depth and has a lot of substance, but no one comments on it, so clearly you're not doing very... The inner critic. It's just having a field day. That was so much. I need some tea to revive me. So the inner critic goes for too much longer. Anyone could feel like an imposter. Anyone could start feeling like a fraud. Anyone could begin to think that they're not the cat's meow. You could have 10, 20, 30 amazing testimonials from clients, but it's not going to mean much if you've been procrastinating for the entire week, 2 weeks, month, if you've been feeling overwhelmed that whole time, and now your inner critic has tons of fodder for the cannon to fire and to aim and fire at you and your heart and your soul and your mission. So it's understandable that we'd get to that point. And it goes on from there. But the main point that I want to make is, whatever judgment you are refusing to receive from others is going to run your... Ow! There's the energy. This is the first video you've ever watched of mine. That was an energy twitch. That's resistance. Someone watching either now or in the future does not like where this is now going. Any judgment, or rather the judgment that you're most resisting, is running your life. Especially, so I'm almost certain that is the case in all of life. But what I'm 100% certain on is that in your business, especially in your visibility, especially if you are a woman in business who has not been being as visible as you'd like, I know, 99% sure, 99.99% sure that the judgment you're not willing to receive is running your life. And that's where the imposter complex lives. So Brene Brown talks about all the time, shame, the shame cycles or the shame stories or tapes. I can't remember which one she calls it, but that's running your life. And so acknowledging those shame stories is very powerful. What I do is very powerful. I help clients identify them at the core and clear them energetically until they don't come back. But whatever your process is, I just really want to make the case for recognizing and acknowledging if the imposter complex is coming up for you. Because once you identify what the real problem is, then you can go to town on clearing it and not make it your lifelong mission. You know, some of us are problem solvers. We spend our life, and I'm very guilty of this at times, you know, we spend our lifetime finding and fixing problems, which is the next major point I want to get to. So if you've been doing that, and then you're making the imposter complex, or sorry, you're making whatever the problem is that you haven't yet identified the point of your life, instead of quickly and easily identifying, oh, it's imposter complex. Huh, there it is. Okay, great. Well, who's an expert at that? Well, this Will guy seems like he is. Let me check out more of his stuff. And so is. And sounds like Brene Brown has some great stuff to offer. And then you go to town and you clean that up. You clear it out. Then you can get on to the other steps in the process, learning sales, learning great marketing, or maybe it's just imposter complex. But here's the big thing I want you to take away. If you continue to beat yourself up for procrastinating or getting overwhelmed or not knowing what to do next in your business, or you're at a great level in your business, but you want to scale, and this is most of my clients, and you want to scale to that next level, you want to not only have amazing private clients, but you want to do group programs and bigger group programs and expand and evolve, but you're not doing that, it may not be that you don't know how to do it. You probably do know how to do it. You at least know the first step, 10 steps or 100 steps, or you know almost all of it, and you may just have one or two questions that you need a different expert for. But what's holding you back is the imposter complex. It's the inner critic kicking your butt. It's playing small to stay safe. It's whatever judgment you're not willing to receive running your life and your business. If you're not willing to have someone say straight to your face, who the hell do you think you are? And to be able to answer with either a smile or your name or repeating the question back to them or going on the attack if that's your style, if that's who you are as a personality, you might come right back at them. All of them are great as long as it doesn't knock you on your keister. So that's the first big point I want to make, is address the real issue. So if the imposter complex is coming up for you, but you're trying to do I say this all the time. My work is about my clients coming to me and they say, oh, I've got all these problems. I don't know my marketing. I don't know how to do sales, or I know how to do sales, but not at this new level. I have a really great business, but I don't know how to scale to the next level. Or I'm procrastinating. I'm not very focused. I'm not being as clear as I want. Or, you know, on a totally different side of the journey, you know, I don't know what the heck I want. It's been so long living for other people that I don't know who I am anymore. And they think it's all these things, but it's almost never any of those things. Almost never any of those things. What it almost always is, this little thing over here. And that is the imposter complex. That is the judgment you're not willing to hear. That is your need to help and fix and save other people. That is your belief that if you really put yourself out there, it's not going to be safe. That is your family history, your religious history, expectations about women coming back to kick you in the butt. It's what your brother said to you when you were a kid that made you self-conscious the rest of your life. It's that thing. So many of my clients, almost all of my clients, come to me and they say all these things, but really it's this thing. So if you've been feeling like you're going crazy, I understand. I was there too, and a lot of my clients have been there too. And we all go through those moments, but I hope this video can give you some solace in that there are 8 pillars of this imposter complex, and you really can just go one by one. I do this with myself if I'm hesitating or holding back on not reaching out to a new podcast, on not going in a new direction of my business. I go through the protocol, the method that I have for each one, and I get my butt back in action. So there is a map, there is a process. So what I want you to take from this video is, you're not broken, there's nothing wrong, really. There's just a thing that's coming up. And I would say it's the imposter complex. And even more specific, it's what judgment are you not willing to receive? Where are you trying to help fix and save other people and it's screwing you up? Yeah, it's all those things. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what resonates from this video and which of those 8 pillars you'd like me to go into in more depth, and I can do that. I've got to run into my appointment here now, but have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye for now.